Okay, I'm finally gonna give this movie a shot. I just pray to God it'll be as good as the first three movies. Okay guys, so I just saw Toy Story 4, and what do I think of it? Now I'm gonna be honest, before this movie came out, I was skeptical, since I think the third movie was a masterpiece, and the third movie is my favorite animated movie of all time, and I thought that the third movie had such a perfect ending to it that I thought to myself, okay, there's no way they can make a Toy Story 4 with this perfect ending. So, I guess I was proven wrong. But does this movie deserve to be a sequel to this franchise, or should we just throw this movie in the trash can? Let's find out. Also, I just want to give a quick thing to say. Fun fact for all you people, I actually saw this movie with my dad. Yep, it was the first movie I saw in years with my dad in the theater, and it was a fun time seeing it with him. So, yeah. The plot this time around is that it takes place, I'm guessing, a year after the events of the Toy Story 3, where the gang is with Bonnie now, since Bonnie's the new owner, and basically one day at orientation for kindergarten, Bonnie makes a new friend named Forky, aka her new favorite toy. And basically, Forky is a spork, basically a combination of a fork and a spoon, and when he meets the new toys, he has an existential crisis about, like, thinking to himself, I want to be thrown in the trash can. And there are some good jokes with him in this movie that I will get to later. And on one day on the road trip, he decides to fly out of that sucker, and Woody goes to follow him, and along the way, they meet his old flame, Bo Peep. And it's a race against the clock to get back to Bonnie before her family leaves the RV and leaves to go to where they were going on the road trip. So, yeah. Also, I love how every Toy Story movie is basically a race against the clock. The first movie, race against the clock to get to Andy before he moves. Second movie, race against the clock to get Woody back to Andy. Third movie, race against the clock to get home before Andy leaves for college. This movie, get back to Bonnie. So, there. Now, before I get into my positives, I want to talk about the negatives first, starting with Bonnie. This is a problem that has always bothered me since I saw this movie today. Now, in case you don't remember, in the third movie, Andy told Bonnie to take very special care of Woody, since, Woody is Andy's favorite toy. And what did she do with Woody in this movie? She doesn't even play with Woody the entire movie. Like, you made a promise to this man to watch over his favorite toy. And don't tell me that, oh, she grew out of Woody. Because if that were the case, then how come she plays with Jessie and Bullseye? Those two are cowboy-themed toys. And also, when Forky is missing, and also, might I add, Woody is also missing in this movie, she doesn't even care about Woody, even though Andy told her to take very special care of Woody. Did she literally forget the third movie? Also, another problem I have with this movie is that I do think the other characters, like mostly the returning characters, are not very used very much. Since they do some things in the movie. In fact, Buttercup does have a hilarious line that I will not spoil. But I do think we could have used a little bit more of them. But I do understand, since, this is the last movie they're going to make, probably, and you want to introduce a lot more characters, and also, since it's a movie all about Woody. And also, I do think Buzz in this movie is kind of stupid. In the first movie, at least you can make the argument that he thought he wasn't a toy, and he was an actual space ranger. But here, yeah, there's no excuse for how dumb Buzz is in this movie. And also, there's another problem I do have with the film. I do think that this movie could have used a little bit more of Buzz and Woody's friendship, since that's the driving force of the series, Buzz and Woody's friendship. But other than that, the rest of the movie is fantastic in my opinion. The animation, dear Lord Almighty, it is fantastic to look at. Like, seriously, the opening scene alone is a masterpiece of an opening scene in these movies. I would probably put it up there with, like, the likes of the opening scene of Toy Story 3 and the opening of Toy Story 2. Yes, this is a better opening than the first movie. I will say that. Like, and I do have a problem with the opening. They got young Andy's face wrong. I'm sorry, but, like, if you can remember what he looked like at the end of the third movie, I think you can remember what he looked like at the beginning of the third movie. I'm just saying, movie. But hey, that's a minor nitpick. Also, the new characters they introduced in this movie are hilarious. Duke Kaboom, played by the one and only Keanu Reeves, is hilarious. And am I the only one who finds it funny that John Wick is in a Toy Story movie? I'm sorry, that's kind of funny to me. And his backstory is so hilarious to me. I just can't help but laugh at it, how at his backstory. And then of course, there's the two new characters that I love the most, Ducky and Bunny. They are hilarious in my opinion, and they get easily the best joke in the movie, along with Buttercup's joke. It involves them trying to get the key to Forky, and I won't spoil what it is. You had to watch it for yourself. It's that good of a joke. I was dying of laughter from it. Um, Another thing I do love about the movie is the new character of Forky. I thought to myself, really, this is what we're coming back to? A fork? Really? I do think Forky is a good character in my opinion. In fact, his jokes about him trying to get into the trash are kind of funny in my opinion. Also, another thing I do like about this movie is Woody. This is a Woody-centric movie, and it really shows. It shows what Woody will do to make a child happy. His duty is to make children happy, and his character arc is very well done in my opinion. It is amazing. And I was actually very interested in the return of Bo Peep, and her and Woody are really good in my opinion. They have such good chemistry, and it's such a good blast to see her back. This is easily her best appearance, but that's not saying much since in the first two movies, well, especially in the second movie, she didn't do much in those two movies, but still. Also, I do think the comedy is really good. Like I mentioned, the stuff with Buttercup and Bunny and Forky is really good. But other stuff like Duke Kaboom is really good in my opinion with all his poses. And also, this is the summer for Keanu Reeves. I mean, he was in John Wick 3, and was also the star of E3 this year. Like when he said, "You're breathtaking," and "You're breathtaking." Seriously, bow to Keanu Reeves, people. We must all bow to John Wick. And yeah. Also, Gabby is a good character in this movie. As a villain, I do think the other villains in these franchises are better, but still, I do think she's a good character, and yeah. Also, I gotta say this right now, the return of these actors, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, are amazing, and I'm happy to see that they got the Bo Peep's voice actor to come back in this movie, and it's really good. Also, there were rumors that Tim Allen and Tom Hanks couldn't look the other actors in the eyes when they were recording their final lines for the movie. I won't say what it is, but man, that ending is just powerful in my opinion. I do believe that the third movie had a much better ending, since it more felt like a finality. But hey, I do understand what the point of the ending was for this film. Yeah, I do honestly love Toy Story 4. I wasn't expecting it to like it as much. Now, in terms of animation we've gotten so far this year, I've only seen 3 of them. Where does it stack up? I'd say it comes close, but I do prefer How to Train Your Dragon 3 a little bit more, since I thought that movie had a little bit of a better ending to it. But yeah, honestly, while this is the weakest of the Toy Story films in my opinion, I'm gonna give this movie a 9 out of 10, all things considered. Yep, a 9 out of 10. Also, in case you don't remember, earlier this year I've been doing, like, for some movies I reviewed this year that I gave an S rank to, that being a 10 out of 10. Some of those movies have gone down to a 9 out of 10. Some movies I gave an S rank that have gone down to a 9 out of 10 are Glass, Shazam, the Math Dominus movie, and Lego Movie Part 2. So, there. But still, I adore Toy Story. It was my childhood and everything. So, if this is the finality to the Toy Story movies, in the words of Woody the Sheriff, so long, partner, to infinity and beyond. But before I go, I have these 2 people right here who helped me a lot in my childhood. So come and show yourself, guys. To infinity and beyond, my friend.